We are today going to do chapter 12, the design of the tax system. So kind of how taxes can be designed. And there's a few, well, elementary basics that we need to cover today. However, I thought maybe we'd start with really how the income tax works, because Americans in general, well, we pay a lot of taxes, but we don't really understand how it works. So I thought we'd start with table 2 and work our way through, and then kind of double back to issues of equality and efficiency when it comes to taxes. You guys remember when we draw in a tax wedge? What that looks like a little toothpick in between supply and demand there, and it creates what? A price that buyers pay, price that sellers get, and then a market value in the middle. That little square that makes there is tax revenue. We'll draw here in a bit. What's that triangle to the right over there? I'm trying to get you to visualize it in your heads, because if you're getting that far. Deadweight loss, exactly. And what is deadweight loss? It's, well, we don't sell that anymore. We can't get to equilibrium, so there's like this no man's land. That's the separation between the price that buyers pay and the price that sellers get. The difference is the government getting their slice in there, and that deadweight loss is just that. It's a loss from the market. A loss in the market. If we're not in equilibrium, we are in disequilibrium, correct? And if you're not in equilibrium, you're in disequilibrium, are you being efficient? So no tax is ever efficient, ever. There's no way to stay in equilibrium and also have a tax. So if you think back to one of the principles of economics you learned first week in macroeconomics, it's that people face trade-offs. In fact, that's the first one. And the first one is the trade-off between efficiency and equality. Okay? Taxes are meant to redistribute income among society and be used for government spending. And we have things like the free rider problem that we talked about, the tragedy of the commons, that type of thing. We start getting into public goods. Okay? Public and common goods. So nowhere in this chapter we're going to be talking, hey, this is efficient. The only efficient point is equilibrium. Every time you take us out of equilibrium, it's inefficient. Quantity demanded does not equal quantity supply. Okay, that's the only place that happens is at equilibrium. Now, how do we get there? Well, let's start with how income taxes work. Oh, by the way, this time next week, what will be open? Your next exam. Okay, it'll be open. It'll be due Wednesday night, just like we're doing. We've done throughout. Table 2 in your hymnal. We are working on the federal income tax rates. What's the major well, first of all, what's the only income for government? Be it state, federal, local, what's the only income? Taxes. Even a fee or a penalty is an excise tax. Okay. The only income for a government is taxes, and taxes, okay, all right, it's not bad for post-spring break. I'll take it. What's the major form of tax for a federal government? You guys work enough to do it. Income tax. That's the major. What's the major state tax? Close. It's income taxes again. What's the major income for local? Property taxes. All right. All right. I'll let you read about that in your reading considered our condensed time frame, but you may see a test question about, hey, federal, true or false, federal government gets most of its income from property taxes. Federal government, property taxes, false. Okay. Don't you love coming to class and I give away the answers? It's awesome. Trying. All right. Let's talk about the federal income tax. This is based on tax rates in 2017. So like when this thing was published in 19 or 20, and they usually about 3-year delay on the tax brackets. These actually, 18, 19 went down, and Sleepy Joe announced yesterday they are going to go up in a major way. All right. But it's only going to be on people already over 400,000. No. Who are people who earn more than $400,000? No, they're not. You're not 1% at 400,000. Who are they? People who have successfully started businesses. Understand that? let's play the game here. All right, sorry, going on a tangent. Can't even get started. They own a moderately sized business. They have 50 employees at that now. Okay. So you're going to tax them more. All right. Is that going to make them work harder or not so hard? Is that going to make them want to employ more or less people? And then who are the people they're employing? Us. So yeah, let's penalize them and hope unemployment doesn't go up. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You've heard that in physics. Every action has an opposite and equal. If you throw a rock into a pond, remember that one I answered? Throw a rock into a pond, what happens? Ripples. Okay, just saying. You can't just say, oh, we're just going to tax the rich. Guess what? I hope each and every one of you get over $400,000. I hope you do, because that means you probably have a minimum of 50 employees. Are you allowing those people to have a life? 50 employees at your business, and you're not allowing them to have a life? Yes. Put this on YouTube. People, oh, he's this man. Listen, I'm a libertarian, bro. I vote for people you never heard of. Okay? It's not left versus right, state versus you. So be careful on this. Let's see how this works. All right. Let me show you how federal income tax works. You ever heard of tax brackets? You're about to see what they look like. You're about to see what they look like, okay? Let's say bracket. We have what's called a marginal tax rate. You guys remember what marginal means when we first started talking about the language that is economics? It's just a language course. Okay? What was marginal? Remember? Next. It's your next unit, your next whatever, your marginal choice. The next thing you eat is a marginal choice. Okay? The next thing I tax you on your next dollar is a marginal tax rate. All right? Let's go. Is there 7? Yeah, 7 of them. I'm not numbering just to keep me straight. If you earn $0 to $9,025, this is in 2017, correct? Changes marginally year to year. There's always changes. There's big changes if politics gets involved, and that happened yesterday. In fact. The marginal tax rate is 10%. Okay. If there's 2 ways of doing this, step by step, or just put it all up on the board and go through it. I'm going to do the put it all up on the board and go through this thing. Okay. All right. If you earn 9,326 to 37,950, all right, your marginal tax rate is 15%. And in fact, I said that wrong. For your earnings from 9,326 to 37,950, you're taxed at 15%. Notice I said your earnings. I didn't say it. At first I said if you earn. All right? You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Your earnings, 37,951 to 91,900 are taxed at 25%. That's a pretty big difference, right? That's a wide range. This is a different lifestyle than that, right? Okay. Let's keep doing it. Watch this one. If you earn between 91,901 to 191,650, your marginal tax rate is 28%. What's happening as the income goes up? Tax rate's going up, yeah. 191, 651 to, oh, let's see here, 416, 700. You're looking at 33%. And then there's this weird little carve out. We'll talk about behavioral economics in this carve out here in a second. 416,701 to 418,400, 35%. Okay, wait a minute. You jump almost 60,000 here, you 100,000 here, shoot over 200,000 here, and then you have one that's 2,000 wide. What's that about? Any ideas? Let me put this next one up here and see if it helps you. 418, 401 to, well, let's just say, and above. 39.6. And now we're getting into like decimals. Why? Same reason why there's a $2,000 gap in there. Any clue? Any ideas? Critical thinking. Come on, guys. Why is this only 2,000? Why is that? It's not 40.
They don't want to tax people who own the business that falls on us.
Why are things like, you know, priced at $19.99, not $20?
To incentivize the life.
To incentivize them to do what?
Life.
It's 1 penny difference than $20, but psychologically, you're paying under $20, are you not? We are very, very simple creatures. We think, you know, something's $19.99 as opposed to $20. It triggers behavior in it. It's behavioral economics. Behavioral economics is the intersection of psychology and economics, and we're all making choices, and psychologically, we all got a lot going on, correct? Okay. The 39.6 is behavioral economics of staying under 40. Is that suddenly you go at 0.4, you're 40%, you're like, daggone. Maybe I shouldn't try as hard to get in this bracket. Does that incentivize innovation and making money and that type of stuff? All right, so that's what that's. Now, what's this $2,000 bracket about? It's called carve out. We'll take that one out. Take that 2,000 out. Let's say bracket number 5 ends at 418,400. Okay, and it's at 33%. Look at these jumps. Now we had 5%, 10%, 3%, 5%, but then you'd have another 6% jump here. Would you be incentivizing people to make less money? The carve out there is allowed to walk up a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a tricky behavioral economics thing, just like the $19.99 makes people buy something because it's under $20. Jumping from 33% to basically 40% may incentivize some people not to work as hard. But it doesn't take much to go from this to that, and this marginal rate to that. It's the same thing as the 2 payments of $19.95. Psychological. Okay? I'll qualify that. Some of that's normative. Remember we talked about normative versus positive statements? This is a positive fact. This was the bracket in 2017. It's fairly similar in 2020. 2021, we'll see. Okay? But in my opinion, why else would there be a $2,000 carve out than to soften the blow here? Because if I could take a $3,000 raise if I'm here, I might not actually take it. See that? Because it jumps me. Now, psychologically, that makes sense. In practice, does that make sense? Everybody ever had a friend like, hey man, you don't want to take that raise? You don't want to take that raise if it takes you up another bracket? You don't want to take that raise? You get into another tax bracket and be taxed higher. Anybody ever heard anybody say that to them? I have. Do they understand how this works? Negative. So let's say someone earns 100K. That's their salary. What tax bracket are they taxed in? You said 4? So they're not in 5, they're not in 6, they're not in 7. Are they in 1, 2, 3? Yes. They are in this one, they are in this one, they are in this one, and they're in this one. How does that work? Well, their first 9,325 is taxed at 10%. Some of y'all got your phones out. You got a calculator on that phone? All right. There's live television here. Okay. It's hard to do. Take 37,950 and subtract 9326 from it, and tell me what it is. 28,624. Now multiply it by 0.15. Say it one more time.
4,293.60.
And this was 28,000 something. It's okay. I'm just gonna put an estimate there. Okay. 15% of that difference is 4,293.60. Follow me? So their next 28,000 is taxed at 15. Do we stop there? No. We go to the third. Y'all ready? Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep doing it. Subtract 91, or yeah, take 91,900 and subtract out 37,951.
53,949.
So their next 53K, take that number, multiply it by 0.25.
13,487.
0.5?
25.
25. Sorry, these masks and that heat on and everything. Stuff. All right, now we fall in this category. We end in this category, do we not? Okay. $100K is right there in the middle, right? Take 100K minus 91,901. Like 8,000, right? You're good. 100K minus 91,901.
Yeah, right.
Yep. All right. Take whatever you got, 8,000 and change, and multiply it by 0.28.
2,267.
78.
72.
72. Doing my daughter's third grade math every evening. I tell you what, it's been a minute. All right. I know third grade math don't sound like much. Yeah. Try not doing it for like 30 years and your kid comes home and asks you for help. I'm gonna need some serious help in middle school and above, okay? All right. 11, 13, 20. 4, 7, 21. 5, 14, 18, 20. 11, 15, 28, 30. That ain't right.
I got 20,000.
What the heck did I just do? See, I told you that third grade math was hard. What'd you get? Let's just do that.
20,981.
20,981.07. Well, I had the 7 right. I forgot to carry something somewhere. Totally third grade math hard, man. Struggle more with the English. Came home, hey, I come up with like some homonyms. I had to Google it. I can't imagine not being a parent and not having Google back in the day. Homonyms? Anybody know what homonyms mean? No, really, I need your help. What is it? All right. This is what this person owes in federal income taxes. Who knew that's how it worked? Sort of, kind of. All right, if I was 200,000, I'm not going to go back through the whole deal again. I might embarrass myself with more live math. If it's 200,000, I'm in bracket 1, I'm in bracket 2, I'm in bracket 3, I'm in bracket 4, and I'm in bracket 5, right? If I earn 425, I'm in all, right? Yeah. Anybody notice anything here? Someone who earns this has a very different lifestyle than someone who earns this. Okay? Someone who earns this has a very different lifestyle than someone who earns that. Do you understand? Huh? That's a tip to this person. That's gas for their yacht. You understand? Okay. This is going up on this person and that person, which it will be more, you know, so 40% of 425 million is a lot more than 40% of, say, 418. Okay. So there is some vertical equality there in that people who earn more pay more. It's a graduated tax system. But my question is, why isn't there an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? No one wants to talk about that. If you get here, let's say you have a successful business and you employ 50 people, you mean a lot to them. But you're taxed at the same rate as the person who earns this. Now, believe you me, I don't believe in the word fair. Fair is a place where pigs go get ribbons. Unfair is the existence of pediatric cancer. You guys just are somewhere in between. Okay? Definitely not unfair. I never talk about this. In fact, this is going down to 400,000, and this is going up significantly. That was announced yesterday. We don't know the exact numbers yet, but this is different than that by a mile. Okay. All right. So when it comes to taxes, so who's glad they came to school today? Yeah. So it's not. It'll be a shame. You know, if you get 1% better every year, you're like 40% better in 36.5%. But if you're not getting better, are you any better? And if you're not any better, what would you rather go to Best Buy and buy? A really good product or a really crappy product? Really good product. Well, you have to put in some work to have a really good product, do you not? You're putting in that work right now. It's a commercial break. It's a motivational commercial break. It's a commercial break. Every time you darken a classroom door, you become a better product. And if you become a better product, can you charge a higher or a lower price? Are you going to put your salary on sale? Now buy one, get one, work 1 hour. You pay me, next hour is free. Are you going to be signing up for that? No. But have you ever bought a product and you feel like you wasted your money? You ever think an employer bought an employee and felt like they wasted their money? Uh-huh. You ever bought something and you're like, holy crap, this is worth a lot more. I'm going to buy more of it. Yeah. You want to be that latter product, not the former. How do you become better at that? How do you get better every day? You understand crap like this. This just makes you a better citizen. So when we start talking about, oh, the rich, y'all even said it. This is the 1%. That's not. That's Joe, who has 50 employees. And those employees all have families. And they're in these brackets down here. Joe pays more. But at the same time, we start penalizing Joe too much, you can start cutting employees. less profitable. Starts cutting employees, what happens to unemployment rate? It goes up. What happens to crime rate? It goes up. What happens to kids' education? It gets worse. What happens to kids' health? It gets worse. When kids' health and education get worse, crime rate goes up in 20 years. All right? What happens to quality of life? It goes down. We're less productive. Remember? Your standard of living is tied to productivity. So in that macro, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Careful here. Careful here. This person's probably employing some people too, but it may be 50 just like that person. Okay, careful here. Careful here. Taxes have implications because taxes. Thank you. Need y'all say it loud enough for the microphone here. Okay. Y'all understand how income taxes work now? Again, federal government major income is income taxes. They call it, oh, well, we also have like Social Security taxes and everything. Well, what do they tax to get that? Your income. So that's just another income tax. All right. Well, there's penalties for, you won't pay the IRS or something. That's called an excise tax. That's a penalty tax. Excise tax can be a tax on specific goods. So states, largely income tax as well. Sometimes a tourism tax they can tag on to places like Charleston and get a little more gas or a little more, whatever. Hotel stays. Local governments are very dependent upon property taxes and sales taxes. States can have sales tax too. States can also not have sales tax. Florida doesn't have a state income tax. Why? Because they're a tourism destination and they can just tax things like that and it carries the brunt for people. Alaska, they don't have a state income tax. What do they have? State rebate. They allow people to drill oil in the wilderness. Every state resident of Alaska gets a check from their state government for that. Wow, right? But then you got to deal with grizzly bears and really cold weather. Just saying there's a trade-off. People face trade-offs. Grizzly bears, state subsidies. It's real. Hockey's pretty good out there. Okay. Uptown problems, all of these. Oh, I'm making too much money. I got to figure out how not to pay. How can you not pay as much of this? Write-offs. Let's call it deductions. That's the official. You could try to make sure. What kind of deductions can you get?
Like, you could sell your vehicles or whatever.
Well, I mean, if you had a business, you could depreciate them. You could say that's my business thing, but you can get in trouble with that too. You gotta prove all that. What's a quick way? Give to charity. Biblically, I'm expected to give 10% of my income. Literally, the word of tithe in Hebrew is translated back to 10% of income. So I give biblically. Okay? Does that reduce? Let's say this is my salary. Does that reduce how much? Yeah. If I give 10% to Church of the Middle, that would be. See that? Now, technically, that's 10% of my gross income, but let's say I would give 10% of my net, because I don't always get all that, so it'd be less than 10,000. But let's say I also support, say, a food kitchen and welfare, soup kitchen. I could give away $10,000, and then we would cut my federal income tax bill in half. Why is the government okay with that? Some people say, you're gaming the system. Am I? What did I just give to? A church who helps people. True. And mission trips, local community. Tornado comes through, they go through and help all people clean up their yards and that type of stuff. Is that stuff the government might otherwise have to do? Yeah. If I help a soup kitchen and welfare, does that feed the hungry? Yeah. Does feeding the hungry reduce crime? Yeah, if you're hungry and desperate, you might rob a liquor store and take a Twinkie on the way out. It's true. Somebody's hungry, they'll do something like that. Yeah. Commit crime. Okay? What other deductions? You get a tax credit for having kids? You have another one, they'll give you another tax credit. Okay, you have kids? Okay. Does the government want you to populate the earth? Yeah. Those are future scientists, those are future doctors, those are future Marines, those are future everything. If we don't have any kids, do we have a future? No. What else can I get deducted? Mortgage interest. And then I'm going to say et cetera, because we can play this game all day. Why would the government be okay with me deducting my mortgage interest? Because they're okay with me having a mortgage. Why are they okay with me having a mortgage? Because I bought a house. Why are they okay with me buying a house? Because it helps the local economy. If I buy a house, I got to go to Home Depot and get some bushes. Okay? I got to constantly work to have it. And is it okay to have your people have a roof over their head? Yeah, what happens? Homelessness rates, when the economy's doing well, more people are living in houses. It goes down. Who has to take care of the homeless? The government. What's the only form of income for the government? It's tax. Who pays taxes? You do. So you're going to pay for the homeless either way. So you might as well design a system that has incentives that tells you, hey, go buy a house, have some kids, and give to local charities so we don't have to do all that crap. Why? Because the government struggles to deliver things efficiently. First of all, the government is fueled by taxes, which we've already established has no efficiency tied to it. In fact, it's inefficient. We have something called deadweight laws. None of these things are good. The government struggles to deliver the mail. Do you understand me? Okay? And some of y'all want to do all your surgeries. You want government subsidized health care? Are you insane? Okay? If you and I, you're in California, I'm in South Carolina, so I'll put you in California, I'm really in California right now. Okay? You're in California, I'm over here, and I have to send you something very important. I have to send you something very important. It says document or a check or hell, a diamond ring. Okay? I'm giving you three choices. Would you like to use the United States Postal Service, FedEx, or UPS?
UPS.
Why is no one saying Postal Service?
I don't trust it.
You don't trust it, do you? Why don't you trust it? Either way, FedEx or UPS is the right answer. You understand? You insure that bad boy, and you make sure it gets there. Why? Because a private company has to work on efficiency. Because if you don't, if for some reason FedEx started doing the crap, you'd start using UPS, right? You wouldn't trust it. And if people don't trust FedEx, FedEx is going to go out of business, and UPS is going to get a lot of business. Why? Because they can go out of business. Can the U.S. Postal Service go out of business?
No.
Should it? Yes.
Yes.
Because if it went out of business, I have to pay for it here. I choose to use FedEx. I choose to use UPS, yes? All right. Amazon, what they bring it in the house? Cheaper, and they can get it there faster. They can get it there faster. It's the big thing. Because like FedEx says, I'll get there in 2 days. Amazon's like, I'll buy a van and get it there tomorrow. That makes you want to use Prime more, doesn't it? Uh-huh. Why? Efficiency, equilibrium, no taxes. All right, we gotta double back here. Normally we have 150 minutes to do this. What kind of time we got here?
17.
So it's we got 17 minutes. Is that right? You said that? No, 15 minutes.
13.
13 minutes? Like calisthenics.
12.
12 now? Okay, let's get after it. May I erase this? Okay. You see how marginal tax rate works, though? Going $1 here, that next dollar is in 15%. Okay? Going one more dollar here, that next dollar is at 25%. You see how that next dollar? So if someone tells you, hey, don't take that raise because all of it's going to be taxed at 33% versus 28%, tell them they're insane. Take the raise. Do you understand? Not all of it's going to be taxed 5% higher. If you went from 191,650 to 191,800, okay, only the extra 150 is taxed at 33%. Just want to drop that home. In fact, we should do a pact. Everyone raise their right hand. There you go. Are you stretching? Or are you raising? Here we go. I do solemnly swear that if someone offers me more money and it's legal, I had to add that. I had a guy who did some not so legal stuff. He said, well, you made me swear. If someone offers me more money and it's legal, capital L, okay, I will take it. Now, because you understand this. Now, I didn't say that part. I specifically said on video, legal, capital L. I told you I used to be a drug dealer, right? Legally. I worked for some of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies. It was awesome. In fact, right after this class, I teach a class on sales. It's awesome. All right? Legal drug dealings, just like the illegal kind, you give them some for free. And then when their hurdle stop, if they don't take it, you make them pay for it. It's literally how I sold Corey. If I get you started on it, you had to titrate off of it. You couldn't just stop it. Your heart would stop. That's a business model that will not miss. I'm sorry, Mr. Peasley, you have to take another 30 days of Corey or your heart will stop. Chain. Same concept. It's legal. Okay. All right. There's a few things you have to consider when you're starting to look at taxes. Talking about taxes, man. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about taxes. Nobody's an Allen Iverson fan anymore. We've got average tax rates. Over here, oh shoot, I shouldn't have erased it. What in your notes? What did that 100K person end up paying? What? No, let's go before deductions. Let's assume no deductions.
20,000.
And change, right? All right. What's my average tax rate? You got me? And change. It'd be like 21 something, probably with the 900. Okay. All right. Then you've got marginal tax rate. All right. My last dollar of my 100K, so the thing that took me from 99,999, what was it? What was its marginal tax rate? What was the highest bracket we were in? Huh? The last dollar. What the last bracket we were in? No. The percentage. You see what I'm doing here? These are defined in your book, but those are just words. I'm showing you what it was compared to that last example. So if you're watching this online, you're like, why do you erase it? You need to rewind, write those in your notes, because taking notes has been proven to improve your learning experience. See, everyone in here, I'm asking you to look back at your notes, am I not? Okay. Lump sum tax, there's a different type of tax. What's a lump sum tax? A lump sum tax is a tax at the same amount for every person. So let's say everybody pays 20,000. What's the problem with that? Well, if I pay 20K at 100,000, that's 20%. What if I pay 20K at 40,000? That's 50% of my earnings. What if I pay 20K at 20K? 100% of my earnings. Is everyone paying the same amount? Technically, yes. But what's the problem? Their percent of their income? Are we all paying the same amount? No, this is called regressivity. This is a regressive tax. That means people that earn less pay more. If I'm making $420,000, $20,000 tax ain't much. If I'm making $25,000 a year, $20,000 tax is devastating. lump sum tax, highly regressive. So, how do we look at taxes and equity? Remember, we're choosing either efficiency and equity, and if we're looking at a tax, we cover this, there's my tax wedge. That's all deadweight loss. So we're not efficient. So we're trying to seek equality. Is this equal? No, it's progressive. Okay, so we have to make the choice here. Taxes and equity. How do we design a tax? That's the name of the chapter. We use a couple things. The benefits principle and the ability to pay principle. And then we look at issues, so the principles we use. And then we've got to look at vertical equity versus horizontal equity. In this situation is their vertical equity, meaning people who earn less and more, okay? So this person earns more than this person. That's vertical, right? 20,000 versus 100,000 and people in between, okay? This is an issue of vertical equality. In fact, it ain't happening. Lump sum is regressive, meaning people pay more, percentage-wise. Now, what's called a regressive tax versus, let's say, a progressive tax. What kind of system do we use in this country? What happened to the tax brackets as the income went up? They got bigger, like percentage-wise. We ended up at what, 39.6%? We started out at like 10%. Okay. That's a progressive tax. This is what we use. We don't use this. Okay. That's an issue of equity. Okay. Ability to pay principle. The idea that taxes should be levied on a person according to how well that person can shoulder the burden. So do we progressively, as you make more money, have you pay more taxes? Yeah, you trip into more brackets. Okay. Do we have to be careful there? Yeah. We don't want to penalize success in this country. Some people do, and they also think money grows on trees. And even if money did grow on trees, hey, we could just print more. What does that do to the money in your wallet? And it's inflation, and then prices go up. And, bread's $38 for a loaf. It can happen. Benefits principle: the idea that people should pay taxes based on the benefits they receive from government services. Now that's where it gets a little bit loose. Okay. People say that government creates the society for which we thrive. They say Steve Jobs, working in his garage making Apple, benefited from the government. No, directly, I can see maybe not. Indirectly, yeah. He has the Marines protecting us from invaders. He has highway systems. He has telephone. He has infrastructure, that type of thing. That's government provided. Okay. So ability to pay and benefits principle says, hey, who's benefiting more and who has the ability to pay? All right. A lump sum tax violates every one of these principles, okay? Vertical equity, we talked about people who are earning $20,000 probably shouldn't have to pay $20,000 in taxes. That's going to mean a whole lot more to them. Sales tax, everybody's like, hey, a sales tax, great deal. What's the problem with a sales tax? It's highly regressive too. You and I both buy loaves of bread, gallons of milk, gallons of gas. If I pay a higher sales tax, or let's say we both do. Let's say we get a 20% sales tax, but you earn, let's say, 20,000, and I earn, say, 100,000. Who's paying more of that tax percentage-wise? The burden. The person earning less money. Okay? If I'm really poor and I have to pay a 20% tax on bread, and someone who's really rich has to pay a 20% tax on. Everybody says, hey, that's fair. Is it really fair? Whose percentage of income is bread a bigger deal for? The poor person. So that's highly regressive. If you tax a lot of food, poor people actually have to pay more for food, a higher percentage of their income for food, it can be a problem. Horizontal equity. I can illustrate this real quick. We had, let's say 2 people earning 100K. Both of them start out at $20,000 in federal income taxes in our previous example, all right? And this person, let's say, has 2 kids and gives a lot to charity. They end up paying $5,000 in taxes, and let's say this person has no kids and gives nothing to charity. They end up paying $20,000 in federal income tax. Is that an issue of horizontal equity? Yeah, but can we discount? Can we penalize this person for having a child? Can we penalize them for giving it to charity? No, but this is issues of horizontal equity. Personally, I would argue that this is perfectly fine and that this person needs a better tax professional in their life. I have an accountant. He calls me at the end of every year and says, "Do this much to charity." Now, I give throughout the year anyway, but he looks at my earnings, my wife's earnings, okay? And he says, "You need to get rid of X dollars by tomorrow." How do I get rid of it? Hey, Soup Kitchen in Welford, here you go. Y'all need a new fridge? Here it is. I don't mean a Frigidaire. I mean the one they built the building around, that type of thing. Walk-in, okay? Proportional taxes, regressive taxes. Progressive taxes, we talk about regressivity, a tax for which high income taxpayers pay a small fraction of their income. Then do lower income taxes. This is regressive, okay? Progressive, that's what we spent the first half, 2/3 of the class going over, the progressive tax brackets that we pay. Proportional tax in which high income and low income pay the same fraction. I'm a big fan of proportional taxes. Why? If you earn 100K at 10%, pay 10,000. If you earn 20K at 10%, what do you pay? I've found a lot of people who want this, think they want this, they say this, they mean this. Proportional. And in fact, when we look at our progressive income tax, it is proportional. People who pay more, earn more, pay more. Now, what are some problems here? What are costs of a tax? You do realize the IRS, its chief job is to collect taxes. However, the more complicated it gets, it takes more people to enforce the tax laws and actually collect the taxes. You actually need more taxes to raise the taxes. Do you understand that? There's a lot of administrative costs. There's also cost and efficiency, okay? But to collect taxes, you have to collect taxes. Is that not lost on some people? Government should do this, government should do that. The only form of income for a government is taxes. So if you say government should do this, government should do that, we should make the taxes really, really complicated. It drives up the cost. Now, it does give people jobs, but if it drives up the cost, you actually have to raise taxes again. Okay? So here, the taxes, to do taxes, you got to do more taxes, which leads to greater deadweight loss. Okay? Proportional, big fan. Proportional taxes, we all pay 15%. We all pay 20%. We all pay whatever. There's something called the Laffer curve. I know we got to get out of here. That's your revenue. As you raise the tax rate, tax revenue does go up, right? What's the problem though? Okay, I'm going to tax you 20%. I'm going to give you $100,000. I'm going to tax you 20%. Are you coming to work tomorrow? Yes, you are.
Actually, oh.
All right, let's start slow and walk your way up. $100,000. I'm going to point at you now. $100,000 5%, you coming to work more. Yeah, I just raised taxes. 10%, are you coming to work more? 20%, are you coming to work more? 30%, you coming to work more? Less enthusiastic. 40%, you coming to work more? Maybe. 60% of your income is going to go to the government. Are you coming to work more? So what you're saying is this is going to level off and eventually go down. 80% of your income, this happens in the world, 80% of your income, did I just nail that or what? Dang. Okay. Didn't want to look. 80% of your income. There are countries in the world that take 80% of your income. Do you work? What happens in those countries? Oh, they're socialist utopia. Hell no, they don't innovate anything. They ain't created anything. Why haven't they? There's no incentive. You can't get paid. You can't get paid. It's not a property issue. You can get a patent. But if 80% of it goes to someone else, do you try? Better be careful how you design these tax systems. Better be careful. All right. That's enough. That's enough. Hope you enjoyed it.